All right, in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you how to just boot around the back end of analytics, just some of the more interesting statistics in reporting that you're going to want to have a look at. Right now, we've got a glance at a 7-day snapshot. You've got users, sessions, bounce rate, and session duration. If you want to change up the duration, you can come in here and just go last 28 days, 90 days. You can do a custom. So I'm going to do the last month. So we'll go December. December 14th. And then apply. All right, so that gives me a 30-day snapshot, or a month roundabout. So we've got our users, you've got up arrow, down arrow, basically indicating that we've increased traffic by 59% in the last 30 days. And if you scroll down, you've got other bits of information. Traffic channel. So you've got, if you hover over it, you can see referral traffic, which would be from another website. Direct traffic would be somebody actually typing in the URL, and then organic search, just somebody finding you in search engine like Google. So this is a day by day. And then you've got source medium, which is which search engine did they use. So you got Google and Bing right here, the different shades of blue. And referring sites, Facebook, and some other ones as well. Next up, you've got sessions by country. So US is out front in the last 7 days, and Canada here. So you can dig a little deeper into all these statistics by just clicking on location overview or acquisition report. You've got when people were actually on your site, the time of day. You've got what pages were visited, so you can go to the pages report. And how many on desktop, mobile, and tablet. So just some kind of tons of information you could kind of geek out on here. So one I want to check out is location overview. So we'll click on that. And again, I want to see a 30-day snapshot, so I'm going to do the start date as December 14th. We'll hit apply. And here we go. So we've got 102, 48% coming from Canada, 81, 38% coming from the States. How many of these are new users is 204. So you had 5 basically that were returning visitors. Sessions would be return visitors that have come back to the site again. So that's the total amount of actual visits to the website, regardless of a new user or not. Bounce rate is right here. Average page views, average time on the website, and then the conversion stuff is if you're going to do Google AdWords and stuff like that, you can basically wire it up and track that information through here. We could also, if you see this little link here, we could search by city, and this one's really cool. So Abbotsford, we've got 18, Vancouver 13, Surrey 8, Calgary 4, Toronto 3, Montreal. You can scroll to the next page just to see what other cities you've had searches from, but this one's really cool, especially if you're doing local targeting with any paid campaigns, or if you've done any optimizing on your website for certain cities. You can see if it's actually working for you. So we've got Coquitlam, a couple, Hope, Langley City, Mission, Brampton, Ontario, London, Ontario, Ottawa, Quebec. So yeah, it's kind of neat to look through where you're getting your traffic from. I'm going to go back to the main page. Or just click home up top here. It'll get you back to the main page. the main dashboard. Everything will reset back to 7 days. One thing I wanted to check was acquisition report. So you've got stats on direct traffic, organic, referral. Another thing too is under acquisition and search console, if you click on queries, this is what people actually typed in to, for example, Google perhaps. And I want to take a wider snapshot, so I'm going to do the last 30 days. Actually, let's go back even further. Let's go back 2 months. Okay, so if we scroll down, these are actually search terms. So obviously, the name of the company itself is coming up the most searched, but then we're getting into the ones that we're really interested in, where they're general terms. So heavy haul transport, heavy haul trucking, hotshot trucking, heavy haul company, haul transport, haul trucking. So these are what people actually searched when they came to your website. Heavy equipment trucking, Hotshot Rates Alberta, Hotshot Trucking in Canada, trucking company, Abbotsford Driver Services, Abbotsford Moving Companies, Abbotsford Rail Trailer. Okay, so now clicks is one thing. Obviously, we want to get people clicking to your website, and that is illustrated in this column here. So these are all the clicks that we've got based on these search terms. Impressions is another thing. Impressions is if somebody does a search on Google and you show up on, for example, page 1, you show up. It doesn't mean they've clicked on your site. It just means that for these particular search terms, you guys are coming up on that page, which is a good thing. It's an indicator that you are showing up. You're not like on page 5. So with a little tweaking, we want to get people actually clicking where your link is giving impressions on, for example, Google. And I'll use Google because most people use Google. So, but trucking company, look at that, 115 impressions. We got 1 click. So obviously, heavy haul trucking, 181. We got 4 clicks there. Heavy haul transport, 146. So right now for these search terms, we're not coming up in the map box. This click through would really jump if we had a position in the map box. So anyway, so Search Console queries, that will give you these search terms that we're basically targeting for with organic SEO, with all the web pages that have been written on the site. Audience overview, we've sort of touched on country, city. If you want to get into operating system and all that stuff, there's no real need for it. But yeah, so those are kind of the basic ones that you're going to likely be interested in. But just boot around and you can find all kinds of cool stuff to waste your time on. But the big ones, demographic, where people are visiting from, obviously the visitors. Bounce rate is important. Be careful not to be misled by the high bounce rate as being real visitors. Being a WordPress site, your site is going to be targeted. So the backend login page will get hammered from time to time, which is kind of throwing off our bounce rate and jacking that up pretty high. So that's basically the very simple ins and outs of Google Analytics.